Tyler here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial, for short, and it's my pleasure, absolute pleasure to be standing with Necronautical. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling really good.
Yeah. You guys been here all weekend?
I've been here since Wednesday. I think we've probably been really unfair to all the production team because we've arrived, one of us about every 6 hours with our entourage. So in and out of accreditation all day, one of them.
Please tell me that didn't happen here.
Which one? No, this was an incredibly dangerous injury.
Okay.
You've got to take the game of rounders really seriously.
Oh, that's serious.
I disrespected the game, and I lost out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I played rounders since I was a kid.
It was like a school sports day sort of theme on a stag do.
Oh.
So unfortunately, about 4 weeks ago, so not ready to play the bass,
Unfortunately. You've got a good few hours to wait still. How are the nerves?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good?
But,
of course, the Soulfree stage as well. It's such an incredible tent to play. Have you been in there much?
This is the first time for me.
Yeah? Oh, that's amazing. And this is obviously a pretty hefty week and a bit, really, for the band. I mean, I'm actually kind of annoyed with you guys because we pretty much had our albums of the year settled at this stage, and then, of course, along comes Necronautical to throw it all into the air. How are you guys feeling about that?
Really, really good. I think we had a lot of time over COVID and all that kind of stuff to really hone in on what we wanted to do, and I think all of us are incredibly happy with how it's turned out. So,
absolutely psyched for the album release. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah.
We've really done some different things, worked in some different ways. It feels like it's one of the first albums where we've really kind of collaborated properly as well. It's been a different way of working. Having all this additional space between us has helped us kind of work out how to do the long distance thing a bit better.
Okay.
Kind of the first record we did, back in some bedroom era, looking at it was all written in each other's rooms, that sort of thing. So when everyone had other stuff going on, it feels like this is the first one we've kind of all put together in one time. It's a really good thing to come out with.
Would it be fair to call this almost a rebirth of Necronautical? Because there are a few things that are a little bit different this time around.
It is quite different. Yeah, I wouldn't say a rebirth because I think it's still the same thing. Spiritually, kind of energy-wise, it's that same core. We've got a unique opportunity, thanks to my clumsy fucking self, to do something really special for a couple of shows. We've got Charbird and Vicky Harley helping us out, bringing it into this really kind of big, hopefully pretty epic show. We sound like we did on the practice we just had. It's been an intense couple of weeks, obviously getting something brand new ready in the space of about 4 weeks. We sound like we did our last practice. We're going to be very excited.
That's amazing. So
the masks are off.
Yes.
That's been there's a big discussion, there's a big chat, there's a big, we love the theatre of course, but we love what it represents, we love how it makes people feel when you watch it, but I think we have nothing against it.
No, it's impossible to be against it and be a black metal fan. We are such absolute fans of the genre, and we couldn't wait to bring that kind of image, that kind of style to the stage. We love what it represents as well as the theatricality of it. That's what it all comes from. I'm a huge Kiss fan myself, so it all goes back to that real kind of aesthetic, the value of the performance as almost as this kind of like fetishized aspect of the music. It's like the performance is this position in art above everything else, and you put everything into that aesthetic, into that style. But it just came more and more like every time we kind of do it, it's supposed to feel powerful.
Yeah.
And the kinds of shows you're playing, we'd end up half the time in a toilet somewhere, everyone coming in to try and have a piss, and we'd be like, excuse me, just doing our makeup. And it went from that feeling of power for us to feeling like something that was a bit, because it started not feeling powerful for us.
Yeah.
It was like, is this really us anymore? Is this something that's constraining us, or is this something that doesn't represent who we are or how we feel anymore? And it just became more of an issue about, who are we trying to be? And ultimately we're just trying to be ourselves.
We're putting the music there, the music does what it does, we want the music to be the powerful force.
No, I get that. It makes sense. It seems like you're going to be stuck for a little while, at least for a couple of weeks and so on, where you have that discussion as to why, and then eventually everyone will just get used to it, and then it will just be a thing that once was.
maybe we'll get the shoulder pads out like Emperor do every now and then.
Well, you did talk about Kiss as well, so there's always that direction as well. You know, big old platform boots.
Well, with the next project, obviously, is an album with each of our faces. It's now 6 albums. I'm personally looking forward to the Charbel one most of all.
Amazing. So, 18 months, pandemic time. Obviously, you were very heavily focused on the album, but overall, how would you say you've coped throughout it? Do you think you've been able to come out stronger?
I think so. So I think all of us in the band, we're very introverted people. So creatively, we were given space without the kind of hubbub of everything else in the world, and it actually created very good situations where we could focus on. You know, we didn't have the pressures that normally come with day-to-day life, and we could focus on music and we could focus on writing. And I know the pandemic's horrible for some people that like to go out and do stuff, but a lot of the time we just sat in our rooms just enjoying the quiet of it all and being able to write good black metal as a result. So yeah, we've been okay, and I think we have come out stronger. I think we've had time that we wouldn't normally be afforded.
I think that's fantastic, because ultimately it's almost like a guilt complex where you don't want to sort of say, look, we've been okay, I've been okay, because obviously it's been so difficult. But what's the most positive thing that you can think you can take from it? Is it just the working on the album?
I think in life in general, I mean, obviously it's been awful. Like, shit's happened to a lot of people, and no one likes that. Like, that's horrendous. But I think if you are going to do it on a very kind of, you know, looking at yourself and what it's done for you, I think it's the positives is that it's taught people, you know, how much shit we have to put ourselves through in the name of everyday society and how we function. Having some time off work. I mean, I have an 80-hour-a-week job.
Wow.
To have the time to not be doing that was huge for me. I mean, Matt's a critical worker, so he didn't really have the same luxury. But
Black metal, mate, yes. Of course. We're all critical workers. No. You know, obviously, I wish this was my critical work, but it's one of those, you know, I work for, you know, deliveries, you know, so it's like, unfortunately, that was critical.
It was, yes, absolutely.
Introspection is what it's given people, I think, and I think that's been valuable for us. I think hopefully other people, any positive you can take, I say that's
Was it quite surreal to sort of step foot on this site and be like, wow, there's a festival happening and it's kind of like normal?
Yeah.
It was I'm not going to say alarming. It was like, whoa, fucking hell, normality for a second. And like, yeah, I'm not used to that. And it was, you know, as I say, we're introverted people, so it's like, fucking hell, crowds everywhere. But yeah, it's great. It's like we've come here for years and years. So to see it back and like, you described it as a tonic for the soul, didn't you?
I can't believe you've mussed up my line that I've been saying all week in practice. It's a real spiritual tonic.
It's a fucking spiritual tonic, and it is great. And yes, it's surreal at first, but I think once it's rolling, which it very much is at this point, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to see everyone out and about. You know, obviously everyone was, you know, the entry requirements, the amount of people panicking about that stuff. So you know, everyone really taking it very seriously. It's nice to see here, and everyone gets that kind of sense of release. You know, like a real cathartic experience as we kind of come out of that. You know, we're entering the, I guess we're starting to enter the post-COVID world now. And
Seems
it's like,
it.
what does that look like? You know, how are people's relationships going to change? That sort of stuff. You know, it's interesting to see that I had this sort of almost post-apocalyptic vision going on, and it's nice to see something kind of normal going on. So it's really refreshing.
The thing is, well, it's going to be very interesting to see how live music is consumed afterwards. What's your feelings on that? Do you think as tours actually begin to happen and shows begin to properly happen, do you think crowds are going to be quite hungry for it, or do you think there's going to be a fair bit of trepidation?
I think if there's anything that Bloodstock has proven now, is that people are very hungry for it. And I think I'm hoping that people are going to come out to shows in their droves, and I hopefully, once something's missing, that's when you know, once you've experienced something not being there, you realise how much you value it.
Yep.
And I think that'll be the case with live music. Like, you know, most of the shows we see, we're playing at, and you know, just not being at shows is a weird experience. Like, we've not been to shows in a year and a half.
You realise how spoiled we've been.
Yeah, you realise we're there all the time. There's suddenly you're not there, and it's like, fucking hell, that's a big part of my life. It's not there anymore.
No, did you not consider any socially distant, you know, when we briefly had the socially distant sort of small shows going here and there, did you do any of them?
We were asked to do some, and I think we were still really kind of cautious about it. You know, we had various weeks where we've got vulnerable for others.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Stuff like, so there's those sorts of things. Think about those kind of considerations, and you're like, I don't want to pass this on to my nan and that sort of stuff. So it was one of those. I think our drummer Rob did one of those shows with Beetlejuice, and they said it was a very surreal experience. So it's one of those weird kind of microclimates that we've missed out on. Something that only existed for a few months.
Very shortly.
Probably not going to be there again. I mean, don't know what the future holds, but.
You would hope.
It would seem quite black metal. I can't imagine a sit-down chicken in a basket death metal gig, but I can quite imagine people, furling through their satanic grimoires and a nice glass of red, enjoying a symphonic black metal show. Socially distanced, but black metal show.
Yeah,
Socially distanced all the time.
So I'm glad the first one we're doing back is going to be on that stage over there, and it's going to be a real return, and it's going to be huge for us, and it's a great show to be the first show back.
Cathartic is the word, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Last one then. Rest of 2021. What are we hoping to achieve? Obviously, the dust is going to settle in the album. We got to get that first.
Well, we're really psyched about that release. We've starting to get some really good reviews out for it. Which we're really happy to see. That can't wait for the actual release day and actually see what everyone thinks about it. So. Hoping that meets our expectations with what we're going to get out of that.
Yep.
And then touring.
Yes. Yeah.
We've got some really good shows coming up. We're doing the kind of 6-piece special lineup at another show next week at the Northern Darkness Festival. Yeah. And then I think the next one after that is the Sullen Night and Swan in Plymouth, which hopefully will be my first show back on the
Hopefully,
bass.
yeah.
So hopefully no permanent presence.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, and of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal, what else is life for?